Hi guys, it is time to go through my 2025 reading journal setup. I am so excited to share these spreads with you guys. I am so happy with them. Last year was my first year at doing a reading journal. I was just diving headfirst into it, doing my spreads, taking inspiration from other people, from Pinterest, from other booktubers. Now I kind of have my own style. A lot of these are still very much inspired by my old spreads, but I'm very excited to share with you guys all my spreads. I'm so happy with them. I spent so long doing them, so I feel like there's not much more to say. Let's get into it. I'm so excited. Let's just get into my reading journal setup. Okay, let's get into my journal. All of these little bumps, you can see these shadows, are from my plants. My dragon snap. Is that what it's called? Dragon snap? It's bloomed. Okay, let's get into my journal. Like I said in my 2024 reading journal flip through, I'll quickly go over it. This journal is from the Quirky Cup Collective. This is the same one I used last year for 2024. I love it. It's really good quality. It is expensive, but I do highly recommend it. It's obviously gorgeous. It has gold gilded edges. If you want to get into journaling, maybe get a cheaper one if you're nervous, but I went all out and got an expensive one. And I think that motivated me to fill it out more. But yeah, so let's go into my spreads. Oh, before we go into them, I do need to show you guys something. So if you watched my 2024 reading journal flip through, you would have seen I forgot to do my stats for 2024. So I promised I would show you guys them in my 2025 setup video. So here they are. It is a very lazy spread. I literally did it last night in like 5 minutes, which is very short for me when it comes to doing a spread. Usually I put so much time into them. I've spent the past 2 weeks setting up my journal and doing the spread, so this was very, very lazy, but it's okay. I don't mind. But anyways, these are the stats. Thought I'd just quickly show you. Now, let's get into my first spread. We have my opening spread, the 2025, just saying what year it is. I did the same as last year. I really like this spread. I got these balloon pictures of a balloon website. I just screenshotted them, cut them out, pasted them in. We have ripped paper. We have this like craft paper in the background. We have my butterfly stickers, these star stickers I got from my pen pal. I really like this spread. I will show you guys last year's to like compare them, I guess. So this was last year. This is this year. A little different, but overall I'm really happy with it. So there's not much to say about this spread. Moving on, we have my library spread, probably my favorite spread that I'm going to show you guys. I am obsessed with this spread. I am so happy with it. I am so happy with this spread. I had an idea of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to make this spread more me this year. So I'll show you guys last year's again. Last year, very simple, very heavily inspired by Katie's reading, basically like a copy of hers. And I wanted to do something very similar but more me, more my style. I think this really shows that and shows kind of my style in this journal more. A lot of the spreads I've done this year are inspired by my spreads from last year, but I've changed them a little to like suit my style. And all the original spreads were either inspired by Pinterest or other booktubers, mostly Katie is Reading and Cassandra Reads. So they aren't technically really my original spreads, but they are different from when I first copied them, if that makes sense. So, I mean, they're all different, have my own style to it, but I feel like this year they're very much more me and more my style. Anywho, this library spread is basically where I fill in every book I read this year. So every time I finish a book, I colour it in and write the name. I think there's a total of maybe 110 books. My goal for this year is to read 100 books. So the little window here, I wanted to do maybe like a brighter sort of theme than like the dark night with the moon and stuff, but I still wanted to do a moon. This little cottage here is actually a cottage I drew in my journal. This is this is the original cottage. I took a photo of this, made it smaller. So yeah, I wanted to have a little cottage, but I didn't want to redraw one really tiny. So I just took a picture of this cottage I did last year that I love. I do these cottage wrap-ups every month. I put that in the little window. I love how you can see the shadow from the doors and stuff. I drew these flowers. We did these star, I don't know why I'm saying we. I did these star garlands that was inspired by Katie's Reading, I think her Starless Sea spread. And I thought it was a beautiful idea. I just recently put an actual star garland in my room, so I'm like, this is perfect. I have some plants. I did put signs here, but I didn't like them, so I covered them up. You might see it here and there. Little bits of paper that are like stuck on. That's from me covering up spreads. If I'm not happy with a spread, I'm gonna cover it up. I feel like it overall makes me happy with it, and I feel like mistakes aren't that big of a deal. But if I'm thinking about it too much, I will just cover it up. So I use spare paper that I've cut out from other spreads and cover it up. We then have my reading tracker spread. So in this spread, it's very similar, but I color in each number once I've read a book. And we have a little key here. So my key last year, I only had 3. I had romance, fantasy, and literary fiction, these first 3. And I decided this year I needed to step it up a bit and add a few more. So overall the spread will be hopefully very colorful. Last year I read mostly romance. 50 out of 71 books I read were romance. So my goal is to do more of other colors, obviously. And we'll get into my reading goals in this little flip through as well. I feel like there's not much to say about this spread. Oh, the sticker fell off. Where does this go? I added these little stickers, these star stickers. I did rainbow writing. I thought it fit the theme. I do have 108 books. I tried to just get like 100, but I couldn't do it with it still looking like formatted well and stuff. So we've gone with 108, but yeah. I feel like there's not much to say about this spread. I will compare it to last year for you guys as well. This is last year's. As you can see, mostly romance. The purple is romance, very small. So yeah. So moving on to my series tracker, we have all the series I'm planning to read this year. So the first few are the series I'm in the middle of that I want to continue. And then the rest are the series I want to start except for Kingdom of the Wicked, because I realized after I wrote down Prince of Sin, which is the same world, that I forgot to add Kingdom of the Wicked, so I added that a bit later. But these are all the series I want to read this year. If I do end up starting any more series, I will add them. I actually do have one. Oh, actually no. I've decided I won't add series that are only 2 books, like duologies, because I don't know if that really counts. Maybe I should. I don't know. Anywho, this is very, very simple. Just my series tracker. Very similar to last year. Very, very similar, but just bigger. Hopefully all these squares are filled out next year. Also, some of them are a bit incorrect, or not incorrect, but shadow me, there is more than 6 books in the series, but I decided to only include the main books, not the novellas, because they don't have enough space to add more. I think there's only 6 main books. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Other series are incomplete, so Rebel Blue Ranch, I don't know how many more there are going to be. There was another one. Which one was it? I think Neon Gods. There are more books that aren't out yet. Some others might be a little off, mostly because I don't have enough room. Moving on to my 25 books I want to read in 2025. I have a whole video talking about each of these books, so I just put down a picture of every book I want to read on my 2025 T-bar. Here we have one hiding because I didn't have enough room for the extra book. I tried so hard to lay it out so I could do all of them. Like I was trying to resize it and everything, but I couldn't figure out a way to make it look good and have all 25 spread out. So we do have one hidden like this, but that's okay. And like last year, I think when I finish a book, I'm going to put a star next to it. So I will show you guys last year's. Here is last year's. I did accidentally write 20 instead of 24, but very similar again. I put a star next to the ones I finished. I only finished 3. This year I will do better, hopefully. We have the star garland again. It's very nice to have a look at all the books I want to read. And then we have my fave books each month spread. So I just put a picture of my favorite book each month. Very self-explanatory. We have a star garland again. We have the gold star stickers. I might add more stickers, we'll see. And I'll show you last year's again. This was last year's. So this one is obviously more colourful, has a bit more going on. A lot of my spreads from last year look a bit sparse, so I feel like these look a bit more colourful, have a bit more going on. Maybe some people prefer the sparse ones. I think I like when things are a bit like crowded. I add these stars all the time as well and these dots. So yeah, this one's a very simple spread. Then we have my books read in 2025. So this has a dot store, and I put a picture of each book I read this year, and then I'll put the star rating underneath. I made this a little differently to last year, so I added an extra door. Last year I had four pages of squares. This year I have 6 pages because last year I had to make 2, and I thought why not just make a bigger one. I also got rid of the bottom layer. So in my last one, I didn't have any books on the bottom. I removed that, so I'll show you guys again. So in this one, I had no books here, but I changed that. And last year, I also wrote down the books I read with the star rating. But I feel like that's kind of pointless. Like, I never look at this or refer to it. So I removed that this year. We will just put the books everywhere this year. And I also am going to erase these little marks where I want the book to be. I'm going to erase those this year instead of doing it in pen. Then we have my rating tracker. So I started one of these not halfway, maybe like around March, I think. I started one of these last year and I thought I should do one again. I love how it turned out looking, but my last year one was a lot bigger. I think I had double the amount of squares, so I had 24. And I did not fill up 24 squares. I filled up about 12. So with each book I rate, I will color in the square. I don't have all the ratings, like I don't have 2.5 or anything because there's not enough room. So if I rate something a 2.5, I will put it under the 2 rating. I love looking at these at the end of the year, seeing where my ratings lie. I'll show you last year's again. So here is last year's. As you can see, I didn't even fill up half, but I have each colour for which one I colour in. It's very similar this year. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these star stickers because they are a bit bulky, but I'm just seeing for now, and I might add some other stickers. Very excited to see how this spread fills out. We now have my reading goals, so I did forget the S. Ignore that, but I'll quickly go through them. So I want to read 100 books, as I said. I want to read 1 thriller, mystery or horror. I want to read 2 classics. I want to read 3 non-fiction. So all 3 of these goals I did have last year and I didn't reach any of them, so we're going to reach them this year. Read 35% fantasy. So as you saw, most of the books I read last year was romance. I want 35% of the books I read this year to be fantasy, at least. Then read 10 literary fiction books. So last year I think I read 6. No, it wasn't. How many was it? Maybe 5. I think 5. I want to double that number this year. Annotate 10 books. I think I annotated like 5 last year. Write 10 book reviews. I wrote hardly any reviews, so I'd like to write more. That's on Goodreads and Instagram. Read while traveling. So I want to go out more and read. I usually read in the comfort of my room. I would like to maybe go to the beach, maybe go to like the park, go other places and read a lot more. Go to like beautiful places, honestly, and read. I think that'd be really, really nice, and I really want to reach that goal. So these are my goals for the year. I think they're all very achievable, and I really want to work on them this year. I'm very excited for these goals, and I will also likely add more stickers to this page as well. I have stickers coming in the mail, so I'll likely add those. But those are all the spreads. That went very quickly. Yeah, those are all my spreads for 2025. A spread I didn't do this year, I'll show you guys. So last year I had a books bought and books gifted spread. I decided not to do that this year because I feel like there's kind of no point to it. I guess there's not no point, but I don't know if it's necessary for me to have those spreads, so I didn't do them, but I might add them later. I do like the books gifted, seeing who's gifted me books, but yeah, we'll see how I feel. And then this spread, which is my physical TBR, where I fill in each book, I'm just going to continue this one in the next year, or I might just disregard it. I'm not sure. I feel like there was obviously no point in me redoing this whole spread, and I don't like this spread overall because it's very messy. When I color in the books after they're written, it's all smudgy, and I don't really keep track of it, so we'll see. I would like to redo this spread in the future, but I'm not going to do it now. But yeah, those are all my spreads. I hope you like them. Feel free to take inspiration. If there's any spreads you think I should do, let me know. Sorry guys, my camera overheated, so I'm going to film the rest of the outro here with my camera out of the blaring sun. So my reading journal flip through is done. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to take any inspiration, very, very happy for you to take inspiration from me. I took inspiration from heaps of other people. If you have any questions, let me know. I feel like there's not much more to say, but I'm very, very excited for the year. I'm very excited to fill out these spreads. It's always very fun to start the year fresh with the new spreads and journal things. So very excited. Hope you guys enjoyed. I have a book Instagram. I post my journaling spreads all the time over there. I have a Goodreads link down below. You can add me and I'll add you back. Let me know if you're doing a reading journal this year. I'd love to hear about your guys' reading journal. I appreciate you so much for staying to the end, and I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye!